This is a T422 production.
If you want to talk some Simpsons, we do it with distinction. Insert brain here. With Springfield in our vision, our spirit is embiggened. Insert brain here. Flanders, Quimby, Otto, Man, the Hasapima, pedal on. Insert brain here. We've got Simpsons to ponder. Here comes David and Connor. Insert brain here.
I still can't remember what this episode's about. I mean, broad strokes.
Brush strokes. Keep that gold for the episode.
Broad strokes.
Welcome back to Insert Brain Here, a Simpsons podcast. I'm your host, Connor, and with me, as always, is my co-host, David.
That's me.
Today we're talking about Season 2, Episode 18, Brush with Greatness. Original air date, the 11th of April, 1991.
Very good.
Very good indeed.
Yeah.
A brush with greatness.
You're right there.
That killed me.
That good a pun, was it?
David, what was this episode of The Simpsons about? Brief summary, if you could.
I will.
Straight to the business.
Try.
Cut the chase. Cut the cheese.
What even happens at the start of this episode?
Straight to the meat.
There's a episode of Krusty's sort of limited edition show on the TV.
Yes, that's right. You've nailed it.
Yeah, that's it.
What's it about, David?
Krusty doing an advert basically for the water park.
What's the water park called?
Don't know. What's the water park called, Connor?
I'm throwing it to you.
Okay, all right. Neither of us can remember what the water park is
just
called.
For the record, I can remember.
Okay,
I'm choosing not to say.
Oh, very good. Very good. I don't remember. But anyway, hitherto unnamed water park. There's an advert for the water park. Bart and Lisa watch it. They get all excited about it and they're like, right, let's ask Dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so they bug the living hell out of Homer.
David, do you remember the lyrics to Krusty's song, Crooning with Krusty?
No, because it actually contains the title of the water park. All I remember is the now.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah.
That's featured in one or two other episodes.
Is it? Oh, nice.
Yeah. I know there's a music. It doesn't matter. Go on with your recap.
Okay. So they bug the living hell out of Homer until he eventually gives in when he's about to basically head to bed and says he'll take them.
Aye.
Cuts to the next day. Everyone's all ready to go. Homer's squashed into some old trunks.
Oh, he's stretching them out. He looks like he's got a wife beater on. Sorry, a vest shirt on. Yeah. Like a strapless top. No, a strapped top.
Yeah, strapped.
A strap-on top. But his actual, no, that's just his tan line.
Yeah. So they all go to the water park. They have a bit of fun, cutting queues and whatnot, sliding down the water slides.
Hold on a minute.
Yep.
Homer having the tan line marks, right? For one of those tops. Doesn't that imply that the Simpsons universe, yellow is the colour of tanned skin?
Yes.
But that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It looks like, you know when you cook a sausage wrapped in bacon?
Yeah.
And you take the bacon off?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yep.
What happens at the water park?
So the water park, Homer goes down the slide after cutting his way to the front of the queue and gets stuck.
Yeah, because he's very fat.
He is indeed. They have to unbolt the section of the slide that he's in to get him out, and eventually, by the looks of things on the news show that you see multiple channels of, it looks like they eventually have to plasma cut him out of it.
Because you see fireman pulling on his legs, but he's just too fat.
Yeah, and then someone lights a plasma torch.
Yeah, and he decides that it's time for him to lose weight after this embarrassing display.
On pork chop night as well.
Oh, no.
Start it. I know.
Damn.
Yeah. He's got his rice cakes while everyone else is enjoying their pork chops and whatnot. But the main point is Homer's on a diet.
And he's looking in the attic to try and find his workout gear.
Yep.
And that's when Bart discovers a painting.
Yeah, a series of paintings.
Of
Ringo Starr.
Yes.
By Marge. And
the last one shows her getting married to Ringo Starr.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So Homer confronts Marge about it, and she's like, "Don't get jealous. I was at high school. I had a crush on him."
The Beatles were
a
big at the
thing.
time.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
places Marge's school years in late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Because what the Beatles was that, like 66 to 75?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Aye.
They're having more food. Lisa asks Marge what killed this passion.
Aye.
Marge had a painting teacher who...
An art teacher at high school.
An art teacher who hated the Beatles, essentially, must have done.
There were a lot of people like that at the time.
Yeah.
Especially older people.
Yeah.
You know, there's a scene in a James Bond film with Sean Connery where Sean Connery's James Bond is like, I'd rather listen to this than that's Racket by the Beatles.
Yes. Yes.
Shite. I don't know why I'm doing a bad Scottish accent.
I don't know, considering you're a Scottish guy.
I'm doing an impersonation of an American doing an impersonation of Sean Connery.
Yes, exactly.
Aye.
So, yeah, the art teacher hated Ringo Starr or the Beatles or whichever, but basically just didn't like a lot of Marge's paintings, and that's all she painted.
Yeah, aye.
So, didn't encourage her, all that kind of stuff. So she wrote, sent a painting.
He loved that painting of a sad clown, though.
He did, yes. Aye.
Masterpiece.
Yeah. I think there's a joke in there somewhere, but I'm not really sure about that one. Because they called him something. Like, I think his name...
or something?
Yeah, I think...
There is an artist who used to
paint sad clowns, and I think there's something... There must be a joke in there somewhere that I just didn't clock at the time.
Maybe there'll be something about that in 3 Blind Mice trivia.
Maybe. We'll see.
I don't think so.
Probably not. Marge sends a portrait of Ringo Starr to Ringo Starr to see what his opinion was.
Yeah, she sent it away to England in the 60s.
Yes.
Or 70s, or whenever. Somewhere
around there. I think it must have been about 60s, because he was about 67, 68, I think, when he was replying to it later on in the episode. And he's doing it in order. He's working through them in postal order.
So it is, yeah, maybe.
So yeah, it must be about there somewhere.
Mm.
Basically, she never got a reply from him, and therefore never painted again. Lisa persuades her to go to the Springfield Community Centre and do another art class, basically.
Yeah.
Sort of rekindle that passion. So she goes with Lisa, teacher, artist, guy, has to approve of your portfolio before he'll let you in the course. He absolutely loves everything that Marge has painted.
But he also loves the janitor painting
he does.
Railing.
He loves the janitor painting a railing.
And painting a sign later on.
Yes, yeah. Another success, I think it was.
Yeah.
She gets into the art class, she paints some stuff, she wins an art show, she paints Homer.
Yes.
Drooling on himself with a duff in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And she wins a local show, and simultaneously Montgomery Burns hates the spitting image portrait of him that was done by another artist.
And Mr. Smithers,
yes,
Waylon Smithers is like, well, Mr. Burns, you've you've turned the entire art community of Springfield against you.
Yeah.
And he goes, but this woman, Mrs. Homer Simpson, has just won first place in some art fair.
Yeah.
She's the wife of an employee, so she'll be easy to intimidate.
Yeah.
Why don't you get a portrait taken by her?
Yeah.
And so he goes, excellent idea, Smithers, and he heads over to the Simpsons house. I'm just speeding it along.
I know. There's a lot goes on at one point. She sees him naked when she tries to use her own bathroom. He's
getting changed for a meeting.
Yeah. I don't know why he lived there for the time being. Because that's multiple days.
I don't think... Did he live there?
He must... He stayed there long enough.
Where's he sleeping? Because he's not showering.
In their bed.
I always remember in my memory,
Yeah.
that he's getting out of the shower.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's changing suits for a meeting. Why would you take your underwear off if you're changing suits? Why would you even change suits for a meeting?
I don't know.
It's 1991. He's not exactly jumping on a fucking Skype call. Or a Zoom or whatever they call it now.
Yeah. I don't know.
He's not jumping on a Scooby toilet at all.
Oh, fucking hell.
He's not jumping on a...
On a what? So she sees him
Sigma.
naked.
He's not jumping on a Sigma vibe check.
Oh, fuck. So she sees him naked. And
Yes.
therefore, when she does come to eventually paint him.
Well, David, what happens between those two things that you've skipped? Homer comes in very excited that he's lost weight, and Mr. Burns rips into him after having already ripped into Marge and Lisa.
Marge, Lisa,
the baby,
was horrified at Maggie touching him.
No
was just
interaction with
nasty
Bart.
to Smithers.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no real interaction with
I
Bart.
guess he did hit him with his car a few episodes ago.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe still raw from that.
But yeah, like tossing his burning hot tea on Smithers and things like that. So Marge obviously thinks he's a horrible person. Paints him naked. They reveal it at the new wing of the museum, the grand opening for that.
The Mr. Burns wing?
Yep. Funded by him, obviously. They reveal it there. Everyone's somewhat shocked and no one particularly likes it to start with.
Yeah.
And Marge sort of comes up and says and explains why. Basically saying that although he's like horrible and he's got horrible evil brain head, whatever, and
he's got sneering lips and
all that.
beady eyes and an evil brain.
Yeah.
Behind all that is the frail body of an old man who might not be around for much longer.
Exactly. Not long for this world. And after her explanation, everyone's like, oh, I actually quite like it.
Someone in the crowd even says, he's evil, but he'll be dead soon, so I like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, they get a praise for that, and Mr. Burns comes over and says, thanks. I might not be an art critic, but I like that.
Aye.
And then the last sort of comment before it goes is thanks for not taking fun of my genitals.
And Marge says, I thought I did.
I thought I did.
I think in one of the games... Oh, great recap, by the way. Let's have a round of applause.
Thank you. 18 minutes into the show.
Yeah, time to wrap it up there, I'm afraid.
Very good.
In one of the games, you can find that portrait in Mr. Burns' office behind like a secret panel. It's in the Simpsons game or Hit and Run or wrestling or skateboarding or whatever.
Yeah.
Wonderful recap, David. David,
Thank
you know
you.
what it's time for?
3 blind mice.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
No.
That's the sound of Ion Springfield, the segment in this show where I go over characters who've made their first appearance in this episode.
Yeah.
David.
Yes.
First appearance of Ringo Starr.
Very good. Is that Ringo Starr? The Beatles member?
Yes.
Very good.
I was waiting on you to say anything other than his name.
Yeah, repeat back to you what you just said to me.
David, first appearance of Miss Hoover.
Miss Hoover, is that the person that says the comment about he's evil, but he'll die soon, so I like it?
It is.
Very good.
Very good job, David. Wow.
Thank you.
First appearance of Professor Lombardo.
Professor Lombardo. Would that be Marge's art teacher?
Which one?
Is that the original one that hated Ringo Starr?
Wrong-o. It's the other one.
It's the other one. The loves the janitor painting.
The one voiced by John Lovitz.
All right, nice.
First appearance, David, of squeaky-voiced teen. Recurring Simpsons character, squeaky-voiced teen. Genuinely a recurring character in The Simpsons.
Okay.
Appears in The Simpsons Hit and Run and The Simpsons game. Appears in multiple other episodes. What role in this episode does squeaky-voiced teen have?
See the dude that's in charge of who goes into the slide? The water slide?
Yes, he is.
Nice.
You did it.
I pulled that one out of the bag.
Three for 4, mate.
Aye. Not bad.
That's the end of Ion Springfield. Da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Sometimes it takes that with me. The Ion
It
Springfield
does.
theme. That was a great little short Ion Springfield segment.
It was indeed.
You were almost 4 for 4 if you just said that other teacher.
I know.
Damn.
Yeah.
David, are you a fan of the Beatles?
That's a fair question. Not really.
Really? I
Yeah.
think they're alright.
Yeah. I would say that I like a couple songs.
Strawberry Fields Forever is probably my favourite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's yours?
I'd probably have to say the same, actually.
Yeah.
I think that's the one I know the best is Yellow Submarine.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's because it was played everywhere
Aye.
for almost all time that it's been out.
50, 60 years.
Yeah. So I just heard a lot of it, but when I actually went through a little phase of let me actually look into the Beatles a bit and listen to them
Yeah.
and see what I actually like and what I don't like about them, because I'd heard a lot about the Beatles and stuff, but I hadn't really listened to them that much because my mum wasn't a massive Beatles fan and my dad wasn't a massive Beatles fan either, so I didn't really hear all that much about them. So yeah, I looked into them a bit, and yeah, I have to say it would Strawberry Fields definitely be the best.
I dated someone for a while who was like a massive Beatles obsessive.
Wow.
And I'm more of a Beach Boys fan.
Yeah, I would say I could happily listen to basically every Beach Boys song out there.
Imagine there's no heaven. If everybody was surfing, you know?
Yeah.
Talk about two different forms of thought.
Yeah.
Diametrically opposed.
Yeah.
Imagine there's no guns. If everybody was surfing on a cool ass wave.
Yep.
What if everyone was just surfing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
In California. No, I like half of the Beatles. I like Paul McCartney and George Harrison.
Right. Yeah.
I dislike John Lennon. And I am
That's fair.
indifferent to Ringo Starr.
Yeah. I would probably agree with that as well, actually. I'm so on Paul McCartney's music tastes.
Yeah, he seems like a nice guy.
He seems like a nice guy. And he it's like hit or miss with me as to whether or not I like either a song he produces or something that he's involved with, especially later on as well. Like that thing with, what was it, that
He did a song with
friggin'
Kanye, didn't he?
Kanye and Rihanna, wasn't it? I
Bizarre.
I thought that was a
Did you like when Paul
pretty
McCartney
shite, to be
was
honest.
in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies?
oh yeah,
It's like
I
Johnny
forgot about
Depp's
that.
dad or something, or his uncle. It was his uncle
Oh,
because
yeah,
one
yeah.
of the Rolling Stones was his
Yes.
dad, Keith
Yeah.
David or something.
Yes.
Not Keith David.
No,
Keith David wasn't in the Rolling Stones.
no, he was not.
He was in The Thing. I get those two mixed up, you know. Mick
Yeah.
Jagger's face and the creature from The Thing are just interchangeable.
They're not far away.
But you
from
can
each
find
other.
out more about all of this on our Beatles podcast, Dung or Not Dung.
Yeah.
We mainly talk about Beatles the animal, but every now and then we dip
Yeah.
into a bit of Yellow Submarine,
Yeah.
bit of Strawberry Fields Forever,
Yeah, we slap in a bit of Strawberry Fields Forever.
bit of I Am the Walrus.
Yep, interspersed in amongst dung beetle facts.
We call it We're Not the Walrus because we're talking about Beatles, not walruses.
Oh,
Oh.
fucking hell. We asked for a waffle.
David, what did you think about the actual episode of The Simpsons?
Yeah. All my brain threw at me was, I thought it was pretty good.
Every episode we go through.
I'm aware. No, I liked this episode. I think we said maybe off mic, but I think this episode we are definitely into the golden era.
I said that off mic. It was
Yeah.
interesting trying to talk about these episodes compared to season 1 and what I imagine some of the later seasons will be when we get to them.
Yeah.
And that there's not much to criticize.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something we're going to have to grow past, because we're just at the start of the Golden Age. We've got like
no.
probably 8-9 seasons to go of consistently every episode being amazing.
Yeah.
And I think this was one of those episodes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love how they cover up Mr. Burns' genitals at the end.
Yeah.
I know that's we're starting off light.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about something heavy. How did you feel about the way that Homer's struggles with his weight were depicted in the episode?
I quite like it because it kind of, I like the fact that for this episode they decided that they were actually going to draw him fatter than he normally gets drawn.
He's massive at the beginning of the episode.
So at the beginning of the episode, he genuinely is really quite heavy, like quite a fat guy.
Yeah,
and they drew him appropriately. So I like the fact that he wasn't wearing a top when he went to this water park.
Yeah, aye.
And you saw just how overweight Homer is because he has been topless before in other episodes, and you're like, he's got a beer belly. He's a bit of a big guy.
Yeah.
But you're not like, this guy's going to die any second because he's fat. Whereas in this, he's drawn a lot heavier. He's got some sagging breasts going on there. He's got the rippling fat on his stomach.
Overhanging, his cock is gone. Yeah. It's disappeared and the layers of
exactly.
Fat. Aye, true. I think they did it fairly respectfully. Yeah. Honestly, the way they depicted Homer's weight loss.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like they're making fun of him for being a fat person and trying to lose weight.
No.
So I think doing that would undercut what Mr. Burns says and the impact that has.
Yeah.
Later
I like
on
the
in
fact
the
that even Bart doesn't try and rip the piss out of him for being fat when he actually asks for his honest answer.
He steals his wallet.
Yeah, he steals his wallet, but that's Bart. But
that scene confused me as a child. Why can't he move? Has he been working out too much? He has wrist weights on.
Yeah, the wrist and ankle weights.
Yeah, so he can't move.
Yeah, I remember like going, what the fuck?
That scene kind of comes out of nowhere as well. It's not connected to what comes before it, and it's not connected to the scene after. It's like a little filler joke.
Yeah, and also you see some weights in the attic that Homer finds and Bart finds. Well, specifically Bart finds, I think.
Yeah.
But they're dumbbells.
He's got a few other things in there as well. He's got.
I know, you can see the workout sort of book. And
what's that thing he says? It's like the gluteus robustimus or something to work out your glutes.
Yeah, some like maximizer or something like that.
Gluteus maximizer, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a workout tape or book, which probably had tapes in it.
Oh, almost definitely had tapes in it. Oh, wait a minute. No, because it's his old workout equipment.
Would it have a VHS or something in it?
I'm thinking it would have been. It's at least 10 years old. So we're looking at 81. Tapes were very, very expensive in 80.
Fair enough.
I'm thinking it's more likely maybe audio cassettes.
Right.
Would those have existed in the early 80s? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, there was other stuff there, but it's just the fact that the reason, the point I was getting to there is it does come out of the middle of nowhere, really, because it's not sitting interspersed with his sort of workout montages that he's got.
Aye.
It's just in the middle of nowhere.
He's lifting the weight, the bar with the weights on either end of it.
Yeah.
We don't go to the gym, obviously.
We do not.
He lifts above his head, and as he's struggling with it, the weights fall off either end.
Yeah.
And he finally goes, woohoo, and he puts in it. It's the empty bar, there's no weights on it.
Yeah.
That part's getting cut out. Gibberish.
Yeah.
Gibberish, flapping my gums about some joke.
But yeah, you don't actually see the wrist weights or the ankle weights sitting in anything. So it's just out of nowhere, out of the blue, because you don't see him working out with them on. He's just sitting on the couch with them on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that confused me when I was a kid as well.
Yeah.
But I didn't actually know that wrist weights were a thing until I was like 14 or something.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
The fuck was that? You alright there, Connor?
Nah, man, the sun just came out and I'm cooked.
Oh, very good.
I think the episode has a really good flow to it, though.
Yeah.
Flowing from your intro story about the Krusty Park, the water park.
Yeah.
Flowing like water at a water park.
Oh.
Into Homer's weight loss journey, into the art story with Marge, into the Mr. Burns half of the story.
Yeah.
It's really a story in 5 parts.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the conclusion that kind of wraps everything up. Doesn't bring back the water park, I guess, but...
Yeah, but still, I think...
Fuck them.
Yeah.
You don't really need everything to come back, do you?
No. I think it rounded itself off quite nicely, that episode. I don't think there was anything that was left untied up.
Brings together Homer's weight loss,
Yep.
Mr. Burns' story, and Marge's painting thing.
Yeah.
Very lovely.
Yeah.
What do you think about the fact that they never really follow up? At the end of this episode, Homer is technically still on his weight loss journey.
He is. However...
Because Marge stops him from relapsing.
Yep. However, the drawing style of him, once he comes back down the stairs and you see him, is back to normal Homer drawing style. So they haven't made him look fatter than he normally is. He might be slightly rounder.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's still back to non-flabby tits and all that kind of stuff. Homer.
Non-flabby tits Homer.
That's the one.
Okay.
3 blind mice?
Oh man, let's keep waffling for just a minute.
All right. Okay.
Bring up another point.
I don't have any other points. That's what I was saying.
3 blind mice trivia. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of 3 blind mice trivia. The trivia segment of this show where I go over little factoids and nuggets of information.
And I fall asleep.
Yep. Brian K. Roberts, who was an audio and visual editor on the first 3 to 4 seasons of The Simpsons, wrote this episode.
Really?
That's not the interesting part of the trivia.
No, I know, but that's still interesting. It's still interesting.
Fake ass. Really?
No, that was actually interesting.
At the time of writing this episode, he had never actually been to a water park.
The fuck?
He'd never been to a water... I mean, I've only been to...
I mean, I suppose, yeah.
Have you ever been to a water park?
I've been to about 2, maybe 3 water parks in my life. But I suppose...
I want to say I have, but I don't have any memory to draw on. I mean, I can't recall having been to a water park, but I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
I've been down a water slide.
That could have just been...
Local water slide.
Local water slides.
Yeah, you don't want to say the name of the institution.
At a swimming pool.
The line at the water park is based on an MC Escher painting.
Yeah.
We both pointed at the screen and grunted like apes when we saw it.
Yes, we did.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fucking...
Aye. It's the beginning of the end.
The couch of the Planet of the Apes over here. Podcast of the Planet of the Apes. Let's do a Planet of the Apes podcast.
There's
Done.
plenty of content.
There's like 10 films.
To shit on. Yeah.
Most of them are bad.
Yes. Most of them are really old as well. There's still more old ones than new ones.
It's like, there's one in the 60s, there's like 10 in the 70s.
Yeah.
Maybe one in the start of the 80s.
Yeah.
And then there's the 2001 film. And then
2001, which was actually a pretty decent film.
Disagree.
Do you?
We'll talk about that in our episode of Podcast of the Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
And then there's the 3 really good ones, and there's one in cinemas now. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, so there is.
Which I really want to go and see.
Okay.
Homer's speech about always being hungry is a parody of a speech from Gone with the Wind. I haven't seen Gone with the Wind.
I don't recollect Gone with the Wind at all, to be honest. Sure I've seen it, but
I used to get Gone with the Wind confused with that film that Anna Paquin was in when she was a child. About the birds. in the 90s, I want to say.
Oh, Fly Away Home.
That's the one, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I always get Gone with the Wind confused with Fly Away Home.
Yeah.
When working with Ringo, the writers were given a big list of rules to follow. One of the rules was not to ask him for an autograph. However, Brian K. Roberts got him to sign his copy of the script.
Fair enough.
Old Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
The art...
What kind of name is Ringo Starr anyway?
Well, it's not his real name, it's...
I know, but the fuck is that shit?
It's very 60s.
Yeah.
I don't... You know what? Here's my controversial Ringo Starr opinion. You know that peace and love stuff? I don't think he believes any of that. I think he's just saying it because he thinks that people expect him to say it because he's from that era.
Yeah.
The art teacher's lesson is based on what the show's artists thought about the ridiculous books on how to draw that show. Hold on, let me say that again. Let me go again. The art teacher's lesson is based on what the show's artists thought about the ridiculous books on how to draw that show multiple circles and shapes being combined to make an object.
That makes sense.
If you're listening to the edited version of this, the first version of that I said, I stopped at the word show and then looked around confused.
As did I.
Like a human who's just been infected with the virus in War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yes. Or infected with the lack of ability to think in Couch of the Planet of the Apes.
In my day-to-day life.
Yes. That makes sense because it was like a cluster of shapes on the left, and then all of a sudden he draws a bunny and goes, "See, it's a piece of piss."
Yeah, he
and
does say
like,
that. He does say it's a piece of piss.
Yeah, I know, but not exactly.
All paintings are missing black outlines, so they can be differentiated from a window. So you see a frame, and it's obvious that it's a painting because there's no black outlines.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Putting in some structured rules for The Simpsons. I like it.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll do an entire episode about that at some point.
Structured rules or just the black lines? Because that might be a short fucking episode.
Remember, I've said this before. I think I said
there's black lines.
I think I said it in season 1. There's like rule books for animators of The Simpsons.
Yes.
I keep meaning to do an episode about that, but it's going to require a lot of research and grabbing images. I think we'll wait until we have a video element.
Yes,
that then we can actually show the art.
We can compile some examples
instead
of just badly described ones from us.
And then I'll say something like, "I'll put a link to this in the description," and I don't do it. There was a cut line where Homer tells Marge she couldn't find Mr. Burns' inner beauty with a Mr. Burns inner beauty finding machine.
I'm kind of glad that got cut.
I like that.
I like the line, but I think I like the episode as it is.
There was a plan at one point to have Snowball 2 meet and interact with a mouse that lives in the house. Hence,
that explains the mouse hole.
Hence the mouse holes seen in these episodes, or this episode.
Yeah. I was going to question that when we were watching it, but I was like, maybe I've just not noticed a mouse hole.
I like the idea of that, but how do you intertwine that with this episode?
You don't.
We were just talking about there's really 5
5
segments of this episode.
Yeah.
And they all blend together perfectly.
Yeah.
You add another segment where you're parodying Tom and Jerry, not with your
or
own
Itchy and Scratchy.
You're parodying Tom and Jerry, not with your in-universe Tom and Jerry parody.
Yeah.
But with a real cat and mouse in your show. Terrible idea.
Yeah, that's...
In 2008, Ringo Starr released a video online saying that he would no longer be accepting fan mail. I just thought that was relevant to this episode because it's about Ringo Starr receiving fan mail.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think that's quite funny because I like the thought, even if it's not accurate. I like the thought Ringo Starr continued getting fan mail about being in the Beatles because of this episode.
I like the idea
because of the fact that he's replying to every bit of mail in this episode, and he says it with his own fucking mouth.
I like the idea that he stopped getting fan mail about the Beatles and started getting fan mail about being in The Simpsons.
That would be great. Yeah.
Here's a clip of Ringo Starr from that video that I mentioned from 2008.
Peace and love, peace and love.
Oh, what a guy.
Right.
David, it's
That'll
time
have beefed
for
out the episode a bit.
David, it's time for a segment within a segment. It's time
Very
for
good.
Who Complained and Why.
Oh, very good. Something about Fox.
Famous segment on this show that's inside the trivia segment where I take a bit of trivia and I twist it on its head and I throw it in David's face.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, who complained and why? Also, I change the segment every time. This time I'm changing the who. I'm getting rid of Quadrophenia. I made that joke before.
Yep.
Need to learn more Who albums.
Yep.
David, the person who complained was Fox.
Yeah.
What were they complaining about?
Ah.
Why did Fox complain about this episode? I'll give you that.
Was it the Mr. Burns nudity?
Close.
Ah, okay. You said close and then looked at your phone like you were about to actually
No.
say anything else.
Usually when you're doing a guessing game
Right.
and you guess wrong, you keep guessing.
Oh, very good.
Is
that how it works?
That's how it's meant to work.
No wonder I was never any good at Guess Who.
Wrong. That's usually the sound that you've
Yeah.
got something wrong.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why you got confused.
Maybe.
Because I went, oh, you're close.
Yeah.
And you're not used to hearing that.
No.
Why was Fox complaining about this episode?
Okay. So, was it about Homer being
No.
topless? Or
You're cold.
That was closer with Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns' nudity. It is directly related to that.
Hmm.
It's not about the visuals, it's about the words. I'll say that much as well. I'm really giving it to you here.
Okay. Now I need to intricately remember a piece of this episode, which I can't remember even when I recapped it. Was it about when that woman said about the fact that he would die?
No.
Okay.
Wrong-o. I don't insert the wrong-o theme anymore. That was a
You
one-off.
just say it.
Remember that wrong-o theme?
Yeah.
It's too long.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound very good because it's clipped from a TV show and I don't want to get copyright struck.
Yeah.
Insert the theme here.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong.
Worth the risk to hear David chided by the wrong with theme.
I can't remember
me to
anything
tell you?
that anyone says. Yeah.
The Fox censors fought against the use of the word genitalia.
Are you fucking shitting me?
A letter had to be written and signed by the show's staff to defend the use of the word in the episode.
Genitalia?
Yep. Medical term, I believe.
Yes.
There was another episode
Fuck.
previously, to be fair, where they complained about the use of the word crotch. So,
You're just not allowed to talk about it. Anything to do with even that region.
I guess to be
At
fair,
this point, you might as well just stop talking about abdomen, because that's getting close.
it's
You know
getting
what I mean?
close.
Couldn't possibly.
God damn.
Upper thigh, you're fucked. Couldn't do it.
Cut that.
Yep.
To be fair, I guess 1991 was a very different time.
Aye, but not that different.
America.
Oh, come on. Wasn't even that different.
If you
Yeah,
called it
fucking
your
Baywatch. Didn't that exist at that point?
I think that's slightly after, I want to say.
Okay, fair enough.
If you called it your little pistol, you'd get away with it.
But you can't use a medical term for it?
No, that was a joke I was making because Americans like guns.
Yeah, I know.
If you called it your little pistol and
You
your
probably would have gotten away with it.
that's my little pistol and my 2 hand grenades.
No, the hand grenades might have been too far there.
David, that's the end of 3 Blind Mice trivia.
Yep. Right.
It's time for another segment. We're just going to rattle through them.
Fuck it.
Boy, I sure hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Mm-hmm.
This is a segment of the show where we go through errors and mistakes that have been made in the episode that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a common segment now. It's every 5 or so episodes, I believe.
Yeah.
David, do you know what I'm going to say here?
I do, but you crack on because you were the one that spotted it.
Carl speaks with Lenny's voice in a scene in this episode.
Yes, he does.
absolutely baffling. Because they'd already been established, I believe, as separate characters.
Yeah, they had.
They've already spoken lines that were in season 1. Homer's night out, I want to say, maybe.
Yeah, I think
because they're both at the bachelor party.
Yes,
with the belly dancer, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my one bit of boyish hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Oh, very good.
Do you have anything for this segment, David?
I don't really have anything for this segment. There was one thing I noticed, but it wasn't a big problem or anything. It was just the reference picture and the painting for Homer, or of Homer, by Marge, were switched. So at one point it was the photograph the size of the painting, and then the painting was up
in terms
the
of the lines and the quality.
Yes, yeah. So
it's time for David's one bit of animation that I actually quite liked. David, what's your one bit of animation that you actually quite liked this episode?
The slide scene where specifically for me, preferentially the Lisa and specifically the sort of full turnover that Bart does as well,
and the camera. It's my one. You didn't ask, but it's also my one bit of animation. I actually quite liked it as well.
Okay,
that you'd give a fuck.
No,
but I love when the camera goes up to Bart and through his eye and into the tunnel. It's like this transition shot.
Yeah,
and I love there's a really funny, maybe the funniest part of the episode. David's one chuckle that you actually chuckled.
Which one is that?
That would be when the kids, the squeaky voice teen sends 3 or 4 kids down, and
the legs pop
they're screaming, and you see the camera pan around the corner, and there's Homer screaming as they cram into him. That concept is actually used in an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia as well.
Is it? Oh.
Where Mac and Dee end up stuck in a slide water park tube. It's because Mac laminated his bracelet so that he could use it and not use it indefinitely, and it gets caught. And then they send a bunch of kids down and they all get stuck.
Fair enough.
Great episode.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add, David, or are we done?
I think we're done. We did a lot of waffling earlier.
Well, this has been Insert Brain here, a Simpsons podcast. I've been your host, Connor, and with me, as always, has been my co-host, David.
That's me.
You can follow us on Instagram at Insert Brain Here Pod, or on Twitter at T422. Check out our website, insertbrainhere.podcastpage.io. We'll be back next week to talk about Season 2, Episode 19, Lisa's Substitute. This has been a T422 production.
Smell you later.
Smell you later. And tatty bye.
Ta.
Good night. Good luck.
God bless. Whatever.
God bless.
What, gobble less cock?
More cock.
Good.
Gobble as much cock as you want.
Yeah.
We don't slut shame here.
No.
Bye.